We are glassing one side of one wing. We're going to do the other wing as well tonight.
You're channeling Trafford.
We're channeling Traff. Yeah, and Graham is just touching up the wingtip.
It's a bit gadgy, but we'll see what happens.
We managed to cover the wingtips with a thicker grade glass last week, just at the end of last week's session, and now we're doing the thinner glass actually on the wing. We're glassing the wings, the other side of the wings. So this is the underside of both wings covered with the 3/4 ounce glass. We're going to be glassing the flaps and the ailerons, and Graham's just cutting some glass there to the right size. And Jeff is busy mixing up some more epoxy because we've used everything that we had.
It's just the right amount.
Just the right amount, yeah. Okay, we're putting a fillet of epoxy and micro balloons at the join of the wing and the fuselage.
That's icing sugar.
Graham's covering the control surfaces with glass, cutting out the glass to go over those. And over here we have pre-mixed little glasses of epoxy, which we've measured out with a syringe. Why did we do that? Because we had a bad experience last week, I confess, that we didn't do a good mix one way or another and it didn't set properly. So this time it's back to the drawing board, back to basics, measure it out carefully, and we will do it again, and that includes the filleting here. So this we've had to dig out because our fillet didn't set, a micro balloon fillet. So we do it again. It's number one.
Yep.
What we've done is we've taken the very carefully measured out epoxy, we've watered it down slightly with methylated spirits because we found that actually worked well for us. So Graham has put some fiberglass over the top of the leading edge here of the centre of the wings. He's put 2 sheets of, I think it's 2 ounce fiberglass there, and you can see where he's brought it down over the fuselage. So we're hoping that that will give some strength to the wing attachment. Meanwhile, Jeff and I have been working on setting up a rig here for testing the motor layout. So this is the 2 motors and some props, and Jeff has been working on soldering and wiring the connectors. So we're going to do going to have a test run with the length of wire that's going to go through the wing, and basically simulate what it's going to be when it's actually in the plane, and just make sure that everything works the way we hope it works.
Right.
Okay,
so
we're running.
We're going to calibrate.
We're running a trial with the different setups with speed controllers and props.
Okay. So WAS needs to zero the throttle.
Okay. Ready? Power up.
I can get another 100 RPM, so that's 555, I reckon.
Well, you're going to lose a little bit through the meter for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
WAF soldering lesson. First rule of soldering, can't have too much solder. The more the better. So we've got lots. Oh, we can get a bit more in there, can we? Look, that's a bit dry.
oh, you're going to use all my soldering iron, all my solder.
I'll replace it.
Yeah.
That was detaching, wasn't That's pretty horrible,
That'll do.
but that'll do.
That'll do.
What could go wrong?
This is going to be a test with having the two motors run off one battery. So we want to see if they both run with the same RPM.
They're really handy things for...
So what we're doing is we're threading, or trying to thread, the wires through the wing and into the fuselage, and there's a close to 90-degree turn. Yeah. Anyway, we've got 2 out of the 6 in at the moment. Only 4 more to go. Okay, this isn't final yet, but this is the tail plane sort of sitting there. It's not stuck together, but we're sitting there, and there are the wings.
It's one of the biggest radio controlled aeroplanes I've ever been close to.
It just looks huge, doesn't it?
Well, when we get out in the lake,
Yeah, it won't seem that big at all, but in this shed, it looks huge. Yeah. Okay. This is the just the mock-up with the tail fin and rudders attached and the wings on. Of course, we've got the wires in the wings now in the nacelles, which we actually have got gluing over here. These are micro balloons and epoxy to glue on these outer wing, what do we call them?
Wings?
Outer wing fillets.
Wing plates.
Plates.
Yeah.
Wing plates on the inner wing.
And Graham hasn't done this very often, so he's been supervised.
This is a step that we have been delaying until we got all the wiring sorted. Okay, we've been working on the nacelles,
Do you have multiple?
sanding and doing some filling
You could set,
right now.
you could set initial rates as low.
What else have we been doing?
High rates as big.
This end plate here has been glued in with epoxy and micro balloons. We're about to do the other side around here. So these are just held in with tape at the moment. But we'll be putting those in tonight. Update time, Dom.
Yeah, so I've been working on the tail,
And it's easy to get on.
almost ready to glue it together. So it can be taken apart in 2 sections like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go together like that.
Oh, nice.
With 2 screws that will go at the end.
Yep. You can see here that the plywood firewall is a little bit too large compared to the polystyrene, so we need to just bring that down. We also need to make... Guys, I'm trying to film.
Oh, sorry.
So this is the wings joined now, and we've just mocked up the nacelles. Going to make an extension to the nacelles here to match this shape, just to finish off the trailing edge properly. And this is the makeshift lathe to reduce the size of the plywood firewall. Okay, the finished product. Look at that. Fits nicely. The idea is that we've got a smooth edge around there so we can fiberglass over it to strengthen the join. Foam block cut to shape to
Because you can lose most of it.
do the trailing edge of the nacelles. We're cutting off the attachment bolts for the electric motor from the plywood firewall. You can see we've added some wooden reinforcing behind, and they are going to attach like so to the nacelles. You see that we've put some recesses in there for the wood to go into, and the nacelles themselves are getting finished off. Got this nice sloping upward and rounded end of the nacelle that we didn't have before. So this nacelle isn't fitted, isn't stuck to the wing yet, but it's getting close. You can see the way we've shaped the rear of the nacelle so that it's got the right curve at the end, so the top of the nacelle comes down with the top of the wing. Okay, probably 100 hours of work.
Probably 100 hours of work, probably more than that cumulatively across the team. So does it fit?
Does the float fit?
Oh, look at that.
Does it fit?
It does.
Let's have a look.
To be held. It does need to be held.
Right. Well, first time.
Oh, look at that. Well, unless you count the box of bits behind us with all the earlier intro.
Oh yeah, but it's the first time we've actually tried doing the struts in position.
It does fit.
Yeah,
It's quite good.
that's quite remarkable.
Yeah, I think I got them.
Yeah, good job. Okay, and we've fiberglassed the underside of both of the nacelles now. There it is.
Floats.
So,
Well, they float.
so how does that look incidence-wise?
Can't tell. Nothing straight.
Yeah, it looks okay to me.
Of course, we don't know whether the fuselage is sitting flat.
Looks all right, just eyeballing it.
What altitude it's going to sit when it's skating across
Yeah,
the
I
water.
reckon that looks pretty
There's
close.
nothing straight in this plane.
Looks pretty close.
We're putting epoxy micro balloons on the back of the plywood firewalls so we can attach that to the nacelles. And we're putting dowels in the engine mounting bolt spots with some Vaseline on to hopefully stop epoxy from getting stuck in the thread. One done, one to go. This is a mixture of micro balloons and a heap of epoxy, and we're going to use it to glue the nacelle onto the wing with. We're checking the alignment of the
63,
motor
top of
mounts
the wing to the laser line.
with respect to each other using the
this
laser
side
line.
is
Okay, so what have you got there, Tim?
So we're working on floats with a new technique, new to us anyway. So it's polyurethane foam designed for boats. So it's a closed cell foam, and various methods of getting it into the 3D printed parts. The way that has worked best is just been painting it on with a paintbrush as a liquid, and then it expands out to form this sort of...
Okay, and that's a lightweight PLA.
Yeah, we're looking at 60. It's a lightweight PLA shell.
Yeah.
And then all up we should end up with a float weighing about 60 grams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super, super strong.
And then you
PLA.
stick those two parts together.
Yep. So
Actually, there's three parts, I think, isn't
here's
there?
one I prepared earlier.
Aha.
And then this bit will fit onto the back
Okay.
like that to give us an amount of float.
And the reason we're putting the foam in the middle is twofold. One is, on its own, there isn't enough strength in the 3D printed one.
Yep.
and secondly, it's not waterproof.
That's right. So this does the waterproofing, and it should give the structural integrity to hold the float struts in directly.
Okay, yeah.
Off the top of the nacelle, so yeah, just this last little bit to fill in there, just rough carving it, we'll glue it on and do the final sanding.
Okay, and my little contribution was I just put a little bit of depth on there to fill that gap in both nacelles. But earlier on we actually did some laser aligning of the and checking the levels and alignment of the firewalls, and we did find that they're not perfectly aligned, and we've worked out and measured, worked out some shims that we can put behind the motor mounts to make them point straight forward almost perfectly.
Yep.
Okay, this is how she looks now with all the bits sitting in place. Okay, they're not all glued there yet, but hey, look at it. Look at that.
Oops. You need a bigger workshop.
Yeah, see the float on the side there? Tailplane, it's really looking complete now. It's another angle on it.
Are you going to put pilots in this?
Yeah. Unless you think that's a doll's house. It's not my priority for the maiden.
Oh, look at that. How about the tailwind view? Huh.
Just got to get the lengths right on those struts.
Yeah.
It's pretty rigid. Yeah, we poked it.
Here she is. Looking good.